All right, here's a wild thought for you. Have you ever considered that your plumber might be quietly richer than that super successful real estate agent you see everywhere? I mean, it sounds crazy, right? But it's not about who's got the bigger paycheck. It's about who's playing the right game. See, there's the game of looking successful, and then there's the game of actually building wealth. Today, we're going to break down a comparison that honestly could totally change how you look at your own money. So, let's paint a picture here. Let's meet our two main characters. First up, you've got the agent. You know the type. Their life is basically a perfect Instagram feed, right? They're flashing the new G-Wagon, the fancy watch. They are the absolute picture of success. And then there's the plumber. You're not going to see them on social media. There's no spotlight, no flexing. But here's the thing. While the agent is posting, the plumber is quietly signing the papers on his third duplex. And this quote right here just nails the whole idea. We're all running a race, but the plumber is the only one who knows the finish line. Think about that. They're both working hard. They're both running. But the agent thinks the finish line is just the next big commission check so he can get an even flashier car. The plumber? He knows the real finish line, and it's one thing: financial freedom. Okay, so this whole thing points to a massive problem, and you see it everywhere, especially in jobs that are high income and commission-based. It's what we call the success illusion. It's this incredibly dangerous trap of confusing a big, fat paycheck with real, actual stick-around wealth. You know, so many of us get stuck on this hamster wheel, right? You feel this constant, crushing pressure to look successful. So what do? We spend money we don't really have to impress people we don't even know, all so we can land the next big client and, you guessed it, start the whole crazy cycle all over again. It is absolutely exhausting, and let's be real, it's a direct path to being broke, not rich. So the big question is, how does the plumber get off this insane wheel? Well, it all starts with understanding one really simple but incredibly powerful lesson, and that's the difference between assets and liabilities. Now, this concept could not be simpler, but I promise you it is the key to everything. An asset, that's something that puts money in your pocket. A liability, that's something that takes money out of your pocket. Simple, right? The wealthy, they focus all their energy on buying assets. Pretty much everyone else, they spend their lives buying liabilities that they think are assets. Okay, so let's apply this. That agent's G-Wagon with the $1,500 a month lease payment, yeah, they might try to call it a brand expense, but let's be honest, it's a massive liability. It's just sucking money out. Now, what about the plumber's brand? It's a 10-year-old Ford van, maybe a little beat up, with a magnet slapped on the side. It is not a status symbol. It's a tool. It literally goes out and makes money. And that, my friends, makes it an asset. And this, right here, this is the absolute key. When the plumber gets some extra cash, they don't run out and upgrade their lifestyle. No way. They upgrade their ability to make more money. They buy another tool. Maybe it's a new sewer camera so they can take on bigger jobs. Maybe it's another van so they can expand the business. Or maybe it's a rental property. See the pattern? They are always buying things that will produce income down the road. All right, that leads us perfectly into our second big lesson, and it builds right on top of the first one. It's all about understanding the massive difference between just having a big income and having real wealth. Let's take a look at what each of our characters does with the money when it actually hits their bank account. So, you're the agent, you land a huge deal, and bam, a $20,000 commission check. Feels amazing, right? But honestly, it's an illusion. It's not really your money. Look at where it goes. You're basically just a temporary holding account for everybody else. 30% gone to the IRS. Another 20% gone to your broker. 10% for marketing, poof. Oh, and don't forget that G-Wagon payment. All of a sudden, that huge check starts looking pretty small, doesn't it? Now, let's flip it and look at the plumber's strategy. It's totally different. They pay themselves a fixed, reasonable salary. Let's just say $80,000 a year. That's what they live on. Period. It doesn't matter if the business has a great year and pulls in 250 grand. All of that extra profit, it's not for spending. It has one job and one job only: to be invested. When you boil it all down, the biggest difference here isn't the job, it's not the industry, it's the psychology. It's the entire mindset. The long-term vision, or lack of one, is what truly separates these two completely different paths. Think about it like this. The agent is running on what I'd call look rich now anxiety. Everything is about projecting success today, right now. The plumber, though, is on a totally different wavelength. Their philosophy is get rich slow.
And yeah, it's boring, it's not glamorous at all, but you know what it is? It's a predictable, powerful, money-making machine.
Okay, so let's make this really personal for a second. A quick reality check. I want you to think about the total amount of savings you have right now. Got a number? Okay. Now think about how much it costs you to live for a year. If you stopped working today, just cold turkey, how many years could you survive on what you've saved? That number, whatever it is, that's your financial runway.
And this is where the reality really hits home. $500,000 in savings. I mean, that sounds like a ton of money, right? But if your lifestyle costs you $100,000 a year, that's only 5 years of freedom. 5. That's a pretty sobering thought, and it just shows you why having an actual plan is so critical. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time diagnosing the problem. Now, let's talk about the solution. Let's lay out a simple blueprint for how you can start winning the real game, the game of wealth. And it doesn't matter what your job is. This is probably the single most important mindset shift you can make. When that commission check, or any check, comes in, who do you pay first? The government? Your broker? The car company? No. It's time to change that lineup. Your future self needs to become your most important bill. You have to pay that one first, always. And look, you don't have to do everything at once. You can start small. Here are the very first steps. Number 1, and we just talked about it, pay yourself first. Set up an automatic transfer for at least 10% of every single check into an investment account. Number 2, start chipping away at your debt. That frees up your cash flow. 3, start studying your market like an investor, not just as a professional in it. 4, find people who are already doing this and talk to them. And 5, just create a simple plan you can actually stick to. You know, a retirement plan can sound super complicated, but it really doesn't have to be. Just look at this simple example. Let's say your big goal is to have $100,000 a year in passive income so you can retire. Okay, now let's say you figure out that on average, each rental property you buy could net you about 20 grand a year. Well, all of a sudden, your big scary goal becomes crystal clear. You need to buy 5 rentals. See? It's not rocket science. It's just a math problem. And really, that's what this entire thing boils down to. It's not about some big, heroic, one-time move. It's about a small, stubborn decision. The decision to pay your future self first. And then repeating that decision over and over and over again until one day you look up and what you've built, it looks a whole lot like freedom.